The 2025 NFL Draft is in the books, and the NFC West might have just set the stage for a major shift in the balance of power. Some teams made big bets, others played it smart, and a few left us scratching our heads. From high upside projects to future franchise cornerstones, and one team walking away with a potential draft heist, this division had a little bit of everything. So today, we're breaking down all 4 NFC West draft classes and handing out letter grades for each. Let's get into it. First up, the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks 2025 draft class is a calculated mix of steady building blocks and high upside swings, and overall, it reflects a clear direction. They kicked things off by selecting offensive lineman Gray Zabel in the first round, and while it wasn't a flashy pick, it might be one of their smartest in years. Zabel brings athleticism, versatility, and fits perfectly into Seattle's zone blocking scheme. He can play all 5 spots on the line and gives the team a potential long-term answer on the interior, something that they've lacked for a while. In the second round, Seattle bet on traits with South Carolina safety Nick Emenwari. He's big, fast, and aggressive, but his tape shows inconsistency in coverage and technique. There's a risk that he was overdrafted based on his athletic profile alone, but the Seahawks are hoping to mold him into a do-it-all defender in sub-packages. It's a boomer-bust selection that could pay off or fizzle out quickly. Tight end Elijah Arroyo came with their second pick in the round. He's athletic and gives the offense another weapon, especially as a receiver. With the tight end room in flux, Arroyo adds needed flexibility. In round 3, they took quarterback Jalen Milroe, a polarizing pick. Milroe has elite athleticism and a big arm, but his passing fundamentals need some serious development. At pick 92 though, the value's fair. He doesn't need to start right away, and if he never becomes a starter, it's still a justifiable swing. The 5th round selection of Notre Dame's Riley Millis was one of the more quietly strong moves. Mills brings interior pass rushing upside and could be a valuable rotational piece. Seattle's later rounds focused on depth and special teams, with solid additions like wide receiver Torrey Horton, fullback Robbie Oates, and offensive lineman Bryce Cabadul and Mason Richman. UNLV's Ricky White was the final pick and offered speed for the return game or practice squad development. This class didn't chase headlines, it built infrastructure. There are some legitimate risks, especially with Emenwari and Milroe, but the upside is real. With strong value picks like Zabel and Millis, Seattle earns a B+ for a class that could quietly pay off over time. While the Seahawks leaned into long-term development, the Cardinals approached the 2025 draft with a clearer win-now tone, especially on defense. And overall, they came away with one of the more solid top-to-bottom classes in the league. Their first-round pick, Walter Nolan, wasn't a shocker but felt like a safe, sturdy investment. He's a physical interior defensive lineman with a proven ability to disrupt plays, especially against the run. He may not have the elite pass rushing upside that you'd want from a top 20 pick, but in a rotation with veterans like Dalvin Tomlinson and Calais Campbell, he doesn't need to be a star right away to have impact. It's not a flashy pick by any means, but it fits a defense that needs more muscle up front. Where the Cardinals really hit though was in the second round with the selection of Will Johnson. This was the highlight of their entire draft. Johnson was viewed as a top 15 talent for most of his cycle, and if his injury isn't long-term, this could be one of the biggest steals of the draft. His size, instincts, and fluidity in coverage are rare, and he could become the lockdown outside corner this defense has been missing for years. Later on, the Cardinals doubled down on the secondary with Denzel Burke in the 5th round, a pick I also liked quite a bit. Burke brings more starting experience and production from a high-level program. I mean, he won't be handed the job, but he has the tools to stick and potentially earn meaningful snaps early if Johnson needs time to recover or if depth gets tested. There's still some risk baked in here though, especially with Johnson's health and Nolan's upside ceiling. But the Cardinals balanced that with strong value picks throughout the middle rounds. When you combine immediate contributors with potential long-term starters, it's hard not to walk away impressed. That's why I'm giving Arizona's draft an A-. Not perfect, but very well executed and smartly layered for both now and the future. Transitioning from the Cardinals draft, the Rams 2025 class might not dazzle with marquee names, but their strategic maneuvering earns them the highest grade in this video. The Rams' most significant move was trading their first-round pick, number 26, and a third-rounder, number 101, to the Atlanta Falcons. In return, they acquired a 2026 first-round pick along with 2nd and 7th round selections in 2025. This trade positions the Rams with 2 first-round picks in 2026, providing flexibility for future roster building or potential trades. In the 3rd round, the Rams selected Josiah Stewart, an edge rusher from Michigan. Stewart's collegiate accolades include being a 2-time All-Sun Belt selection and a second-team All-Big Ten honoree. His experience and pass rushing skills add depth to the Rams' defensive front. Another notable pick was Chris Paul Jr., a linebacker from Ole Miss taken in the 5th round. Paul Jr. was recognized as a USA Today All-American and second-team All-SEC player in 2024. His tackling ability and leadership qualities make him a valuable addition to the linebacker corps. And while the draft class may lack star power, the Rams' foresight in acquiring future assets and selecting players with potential upside reflects a well-executed strategy, balancing immediate needs with long-term planning. The Rams earn an A grade for their 2025 draft. Now, the Rams may have walked away with long-term value, but when it comes to the 49ers, this draft class felt like a major step in the wrong direction, and it ends up with the lowest grade of the video. The biggest issue is the pick at number 11, Michael Williams. He's supposed to be a high-floor, NFL-ready edge rusher, but his tape and production just don't back that up. Across 3 years at Georgia, Williams never really popped the way that you'd expect from a top 15 pick. His sack numbers were low, and his pressure rate was nothing special. Some have pointed to injuries as the reason. He reportedly played through issues most last season, but that only raises more red flags. If that injury really did limit him, the Niners are gambling that he'll make a major leap when healthy. If not, they may have just burned another premium pick on a player who doesn't move the needle, adding to a list that already includes Trey Lance. What makes this pick even riskier is the context behind it. Multiple draft insiders reported that San Francisco had been exploring trade-up options specifically to land Williams. In other words, the 49ers were actively looking to spend even more capital to go get a player who, objectively, might have been overdrafted at number 11 to begin with. That is a dangerous level of conviction for a guy with this many question marks. If it works out, sure, they'll look like geniuses. But if it doesn't, it's just another massive swing and miss at the top of the draft. And that is something that this franchise cannot afford to keep doing, especially after drastically overpaying Brock Purdy this offseason. Looking to their 2nd round pick, Alfred Collins has some more upside and is at least a bit easier to understand. He's long, powerful, and flashes the traits of a disruptive interior presence. But even then, his career at Texas was defined more by potential than consistency. Like Williams, Collins is a projection, and it's hard to feel great about doubling down on that approach early on in the draft. The rest of the class just feels like filler. I mean, Nick Martin and Upton Stout might carve out depth roles, but nothing here really stands out. Jordan Watkins and Jordan James add some juice to the offense, but there's no clear path for them to become major contributors right away. There's nothing awful here beyond the Williams pick, but there's really not much to get excited about either. Overall, this draft feels like a reach-heavy class banking on uncertain upside, and that's why it's a C+ for me. Easily the worst grade in this video, and a class the 49ers really need to hope pans out. All 4 teams came into this draft with different strategies, and they all walked away with wildly different results. The Seahawks built smartly with long-term upside. The Cardinals added immediate help in the secondary and trenches. The Rams prioritized future flexibility. And the 49ers, they took some serious risks that might not pay off. It's one of the more fascinating divisions in the league right now, and how these picks pan out could shape the NFC West for years. Alright, that's a wrap up for my NFC West draft grades. Now, I want to hear from you. Which team do you think made the best pick in the division? Was it Seattle with Gray Zabel, the Cardinals stealing Will Johnson, or maybe the Rams playing chess with that trade? And be honest, how are we feeling about the 49ers gamble on Michael Williams? Drop your favorite pick and your worst pick from the NFC West down in the comments below. I'll be reading and replying to a bunch of them. And don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying the series, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. There's a lot more draft content coming your way. And if you missed it, make sure to check out my AFC West draft grades video that's already live on the channel. I had some pretty strong opinions in that one as well, especially about the Raiders. Link is down in the description and probably on screen right now. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.